Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and today is a momentous day. It's a momentous occasion because a large company, Thrunite from Thrunite Flashlights, has decided to listen to yours truly. And probably some other people as well, but you know what? This is my channel. I'm taking the credit on it. They have decided to take the philosophy behind the no frills, easy to use, highly reliable TN12 and take that and put it into a weapons light that's set up for a Picatinny rail. Now, it's not the exact technology, but the philosophy behind it, the no-frills reliability. And that is culminated in the TW10 flashlight from Thrunite. Let's go and start off with the endurance water test, and I'll go ahead and do an unboxing at the same time. All right, we've got a blue light right there, which means this is fully charged. I'm going to go ahead and unplug that. Close a little plastic flap. I'm going to mount this on my not a Glock, as you can see. While I mess up the camera angle. Turn it on. That's 900 lumens. There we go. Start. Luckily, UPS was kind enough to pre-test the packaging for me. So at least we do know that it can take a beating during shipping and its contents remain unscathed. Here is the flashlight, the Thrunite TW10 right there. You flip it over. This happens to be the Black Scout Survival version. I have no idea if there are other versions. I'm not sure. I do know that it comes in both black and desert tan. Let's go ahead and look at the battery. It has a replaceable and rechargeable battery. The lens comes off there, and you can pop out the battery. This is a Thrunite branded battery. It's an 18350, so it's a short boy of the 18650 that we all know and love. The 18, that's the diameter, I believe, the diameter around, or the diameter across the cross section. And 350 is the length. Okay, folks, I'm calling it right here at 3 hours. The light is still on, obviously, as you can see here, but it is so dim that it is not usable, as a weapons light at least. Now, it doesn't seem to be a strong spring down here or up here. That's what you want in a recoil style environment, such as a weapons light, is a very stiff spring staying in contact with the battery. If it loses contact with the battery during recoil, then you're going to either flicker or this thing will completely just shut off. So we'll be testing that later on when we get to the live fire testing. For right now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it here. This is the charging port back here. It's a USB Type-C, which is awesome. They're in the 21st century, finally, like everybody else. And it attaches to a Picatinny rail or a Glock rail with a hand screw here. You can use a screwdriver if you want to, or coin, or I've just been using my thumb, and it is perfectly fine to use just your hands. And the other side is spring-loaded for ease of mounting. We have the Glock setup already on the flashlight right there, and it also comes with the 1913 option that you can interchange it with. I usually stay with the Glock setup because it will fit a Glock. It will fit a Picatinny rail as well. This very nice Picatinny rail is from Longshot Manufacturing. They have highly accurate rails. And you see, if I'm using the Glock setup, I get a little bit of movement. It's a flashlight. I don't care if there's a tiny bit of movement in there. It's not going to fall off, nor it will affect my aim. So I don't really care. To turn the flashlight on and off, you have these two side buttons here. They both do the same thing. It's just a click on, click off. Very positive click too, listen to that. You have momentary where you hold down a button and a quick press gives you on and off, and that's it. There's no frills, there's no bells or whistles there, that is it. When you turn it on, it starts out at 900 lumens and then stays there for about 3 minutes and throttles down to 427. That's a very oddly specific number, but that's what's in the manual. It's kind of hard to show on camera here, but underneath this clear charging cover is an LED indicator. And if it's blue, that means you're good. You're either over 20% when it's on or it's fully charged. And if it's red, that means you're below 20%. If it starts flashing, you need to start thinking about recharging it because it is about to die on you. It's about 94 degrees right now here in the farm. And what I'm going to do is do some shots both with a 22 and with 9mm, and I'm going to have the light turned on. I have a different camera right over here that should show the light. And if it flickers, if it turns off and on as I'm shooting, that will be an indicator of the quality or lack thereof. All right, let's get to it. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm shooting 9mm. Oh yeah, I don't have a I don't have a holster that will accommodate this light, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and go low ready, I guess. The heat's getting to me. Been out here all day. Jesus. Low ready? Here we go. Ah, hot brass. Hot brass. Right down my shirt. Whew. I got distracted on that one. It's kind of difficult to see, but if you look real closely, you can see that last piece of brass goes over my head and right down my back. Ah, and I got my shirt tucked in too, so I had nowhere to go. Now it's burning my butt crack. Awesome. Now I have another competent weapons light, the Olight Valkyrie PL Pro right there. I've done a video on that. I'll link up there somewhere if you want to see that one. Both the Olight Valkyrie Pro and the Thrunite TW10, both of these are considered value brand budget versions of the Surefire weapons light systems. And they're cheaper by many hundreds of dollars. Now, of course, both of these are made of China versus the USA. Beggars can't be choosers. But one of these is a lot cheaper than the other one. The Valkyrie Pro is $140, $150 usually. The Thrunite is $100 cheaper. Both of these lights have their pluses and minuses, so let's go over those real quick. The Olight puts out much more light. It's rated at 1500 lumens versus the 900 lumens that the Thrunite pumps out. But on a pistol, is that a really big deal or not? No, it's not, because this is a close quarters style light. The Thrunite is much lighter than the Olight. The Thrunite is 78 grams versus the 92 grams that the Olight is. Also, the Olight is much larger. It actually sticks out at both sides of the slide, whereas the Thrunite disappears behind the slide. So it's going to be a lot easier to find a holster that fits that Thrunite. As I said before, the Thrunite is very simple. It has on, it has off, it has momentary, and that's it. No other bells or whistles. Whereas the Olight adds strobe and 2 different output levels for your weapons light. So that's pretty cool. A lot more bells and whistles. Both lights include onboard charging. The Thrunite has a swappable battery, whereas the Olight has a permanent battery. So if something goes wrong with that battery, then your light is just toast. The buttons on the Thrunite are much smaller and much harder to reach than the buttons on the Olight. So I do prefer the buttons on the Olight over the Thrunite. When comparing the type of light put out by these two lights, the Thrunite is on the left and the Olight's on the right. You can see that the Olight has a much brighter spotlight and is a more yellow light than the Thrunite. The Thrunite is a much more broad beam light and is a bluish, more bluish LED light. Everyone's eyes respond to light tint differently. Some people prefer the yellow light and some people prefer the blue light. I personally like the blue light over the yellow for a weapons light because the science behind the whole deal is that bluish light helps your eyes see movement, track on movement like a cat, like a panther, whereas the yellow light helps you discern color better. So if you're defusing a bomb, you're going to want the Olight. If you're wanting to track down a prey, track down an animal, a person, the most dangerous game, what have you, then you're probably going to want a more blue light like the Thrunite. After spending extensive time with both of these lights, which one of these do I prefer? Well, the Olight has better buttons. They're bigger, they're easy to reach from the trigger position, and they're very easy to actuate the strobe option, which is not even an option on the Thrunite. But other than strobe and bigger buttons, everything else falls in favor of the Thrunite, especially the price. Both these lights are considered budget options in their field, and I have a real hard time recommending a light that costs an extra $100 when the cheaper option from Thrunite will get you down the road and save $100 toward your Surefire purchase, which is what you're going to buy anyway once you can afford it. Well guys, that's for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave that in the comment box of the video. I try to do as much as possible. And as always, you guys have a great day. See ya.